Today we will start our meeting with a very exciting thing. As usually, we start our meeting with our WhatsApp group chat. And there, Jan post his PowerPoint about 7 habits, and we are very excited to hear about this in depth. It will take 10-15 minutes. Please ask any questions because the author Jan is here, and Pedro Valentina, I can tell you, this man is going to any question on a deep level, and his comments are very interesting and very influential, and very deep philosophical point he can put on it. And then after we will go with our stars for the week. We have one more star this week, and we will continue with our meeting. So Jan, can you share the screen? And you can start your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Lina. Let me share. I can now see the share button.
Look on the bottom, and you will see share screen. Just move your mouse.
Yes, I just did it, but I cannot see anything here. Okay, I only can. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, I can't.
So when you move your mouse.
Okay, I got it. Yes, I got it. Yes,
okay,
sorry.
Okay, that's fine, no problem.
Yes, I got 3 screen here, and I just didn't get the right one. Share screen and desktop 1.
Beautiful, you did it.
All right, good. First of all, and I started to read 7 Habits, this book about 6 years ago, and so, but the progress is quite slow. I only finished a few chapters, but at that time I also take exam on security management and auditing on information security. Yeah. So I was wondering whether I can use the knowledge I learned from the management and auditing study, so apply to the 7 habits, and if I can build systems which apply 7 habits, and so I can install it into my life and make it systematic. That's only a blur and vague ideas at that time. After joining this group, thank you, Lina. And after you pushing us for the statement, mission statement, I start think about maybe it's the time to take actions for my ideas. So I started drafting this management, self-leadership and management system based on 7 habits. First of all, and this structure shows a very basic and generic leadership and management system. You can see that it has 3 very basic fundamental components. The top one is the mission statement, and at the lower level is strategic planning. At the bottom is action planning. I use this structure is because I want to first of all, I want to demonstrate that these three components, they're all have very clearly a boundary. Different different components have different purpose. And also I want to show that the mission statement at the top, you can see the size is limited. It's a minimum size. And this means this minimum details should be in mission statement. And then it will go up, go down, and there's more details.
Mhm.
At the bottom, action planning have plenty of details. And the next page. This is I get is from article. This sentence I got it from article is from Army Engineering Corps, and they applied the 7 habits. So in this article, I found this sentence is written by Stephen Covey, the author of the book. I think probably this is the most important sentence I have read about Covey's 7 habits. It's summarized the whole book with this sentence. Okay, this first step, we have to be principle-centered person. And to be more principle-centered person, we need to apply 7 habits. This is the details self-leadership and management system based on 7 habits. Which is actually is this structure apply these principles, and these I call it the best practice. 7 habits is best practice. So I got this one. So you can see that the vision, okay, is a happy man. I want to be a happy man. That's my vision. Yes, and then my mission is to become an effective principle-centered man. Strategy, simple. Live with 7 habits. Simple like that. And then is action planning. That is where rubber hits the ground. So okay, I also this is 3 elements, right? And this got the first element is a self-audit process. Yes, we have to review our mission statement, our strategy, and our actions. Otherwise, we cannot improve, or we cannot correct if something is wrong. So mission statement, of course, is value. It's based on the value. It's based on the value we value. This means based on how we see the world. Of course, as a principle-centered person, we believe we believe in principle. So it have to be value aligned. Strategy is because I believe that 7 habits is the best practice. So it have to be 7 habits aligned. At actions level is aligned with the strategy and aligned with strategic strategic goals. Yeah, this is very important. Strategic goals, not objective. So then is this. Okay, this is from the perspective of process. So you can see that the output of mission statement is guidance to strategy, and the strategy's output is strategic goals. Strategic goals and guide the actions, weekly actions. The most important part for each is mission statement have to be value-driven, and the strategies have to mission-driven. And then this probably is the foundation. Commitment. If we don't make commitment to our actions, so all these works are empty. Okay, this is my mission statement. I think most of you already see it before, so I'm going to pass it. Yes, because I got my mission statement, right? But how I needed to review it, because my mission statement must be principle-centered. So I create this checklist. This checklist is principle, I believe. So if anything wrong, if anything in this list against my mission statement, that means I have to change my mission statement. There's something wrong in it. Strategies. This is one example. I use my 7 habit group member role strategies as an example here. This is the action I'm taking, and these is the goals I'm going to achieve. You can see that this at the strategy level is flexible. So I leave some space here for change and for add more strategies. Again, I have to review the strategies. I create another checklist. So this is the to-do list for 7 habits. Again, if there's anything wrong against those to-do lists in my strategies, so I have to change my strategies. And to make strategies effective. This is the last stage. This is action objectives. I'm going to get weekly. Again, it's a flexible, it's a changeable, it's a dynamic. I put this because I already got an objective, so it's natural. It's very convenient for me to put it here in my scheduling. This is scheduling we found online. So you can see this is my weekly objectives, and this is actions to achieve these objectives. This is the last stage for my self-auditing process. That's for action objectives. So I just checklist them and every week at weekend. So make an improvement. All right. Thank you for your attention. Any questions and comments?
Yes, Richard?
I see a similarity with something interesting. It's because I often think, and I think Jan commented as well, all of knowledge is intertwined somehow. If you have 2 different sets of knowledge and you want to bring them together, you can somehow find the commonalities and those things. If you weren't too familiar with one, bringing together two pieces of knowledge makes you more comfortable, more knowledgeable, and more comfortable with the new knowledge that you're trying to acquire. But in that sense, as he was speaking, I started to think about what do I already know that's similar to what he's conveying to us. And it came to mind that Covey talked about the three things needed to create a new habit. And that was desire, knowledge, and skills. And so mission statement is kind of like a desire. It's expressing your desires. Knowledge is sort of like creating a strategy. And skills is what the actions are. So to me, that piece of knowledge combined the two, and it made a whole lot of sense to me what he was proposing.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, right now, Jan, it's you are talking. So just talk, guys. Patrick, please talk to Jan.
So yeah, a question and a comment. The first question is, with the action, right? I'm thinking of the lean loop, right? Where you build, measure, learn, right? So the outcome of your actions, right? So when you learn something, right? Do you do a ripple effect in terms of updating your strategy and then ripple effect that to your mission statement? Or is there like a stopgap where you're like, okay, I'm going to fix my strategy first, or I'm going to basically fix my action first to see whether or not it aligns to a strategy. So in other words, at what point do you realize that, okay, I'm going down the wrong path, that I need to pivot, or that, okay, I'm going down the right path, but I think I am not clear about my strategy or my action. Does that make sense? So how do you take the outcome, right, of your action to either confirm you're going down the right path, or you need to pivot?
Oh, yes. So it's my turn to talk now? Yes? Okay, you can hear me, good. Yes, I understand what you're talking about. This is at, for example, strategies, yes. Is this my way to do it, because I'm kind of lazy, and actually probably another way is to do it is just to create this to-do list and generate a to-do list. Our strategy is generated from to-do list and grouped by roles. Yes, and so when I write strategies, I just like it to flow, and with the hope that my audit process and that checklist will catch the mistake, my strategies, and improve the effectiveness. This only for try, and probably if this not working, I will try another way. Yeah.
Well, I hope you create an app of some sort using something so that lazy people like me could use it.
Yes. I'm thinking about it to create an app in command line first with Python, but that will be a huge project for me if I have time. I definitely will start it. It's a good learning process, both for Python programming skill and 7 Habits. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. You can stop sharing screen. I will talk. So guys, when I've seen that, thank you so much, Jan. Personally, I think you did a great job. While you said that you are lazy, I think you are too strict to yourself. You probably never meet a lazy person. Because you are the best, one of the best participator and our message board. Am I right, guys? Your message is reading everyone, and then we are going and thinking for 2-3 days before to answer to your post. When you answer, you post very deep. No, this is not laziness. You are a thinker. You are a philosopher. And what you did, I see it as a beginning. And you will add while you are going along with it. So this is the first step. And also you reminded me to remember when we started our meetings, I tell that some reader wrote in the comments about this book, that this book should be next to Bible. Guys, and this is not just words. This is how this book is powerful. And please listen what I'm saying about Jan. If he will continue this way, if he will put his strategy and planning and doing every single day, how he wrote 30 minutes per day, we can see where he will be in 5-10 years, and where will be a person who think or who talk, oh, it's just okay, yes, it's another bunch of words, it's another conversation, it's another, I know that, I read that, you hear it all the time, right? And we will see where Jan will be and where that person will be who just don't do nothing and think that he knows already everything. So Jan, you did a great job. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, guys.
And let's now. Now I'm looking for my presentation. I think that's it. Let me take 1 moment. I need to start from the beginning. Okay, now I can share. This is our meeting. And guys, our usual, what we are doing, let me share, let's do the slideshow. From the beginning. Yes, here we are. I hope that we will be able to start habit number 4 today. And habit number 4 is win-win. And I won't start from the beginning, how we are usually doing, but let's start with our ritual, and we will look for our stars. And the first star you've heard already. The first star is Jan. With his PowerPoint, we have another star, and it's Patrick. Patrick, all the time, every time he is our star. We will talk someday about it because I know something, but I don't want to say you too much. But you believe, I believe you, your birthday is number 1, right?
Yeah, October 1st.
Yes, so the month is not really important, but the number is very important. So you are, all your life will be the first. It doesn't matter where, but hopefully right now I see you're the best and the first in the best. So, if you are interested, we will talk about it. You will be surprised how is matching. You cannot deny that, we cannot deny that you are all the time not needs respond, you are will be here. Needs post, you will be here. Mission statement, who were first the mission statement? Patrick was first. You are the leader, Patrick. So you were born under the sun. And we have many talented people here as well. We have master numbers, but let's talk about it on some our additional meeting. What is your one question? When is your son's birthday? What's the day?
The 4th.
The 4th. Okay, we can talk about it, and maybe if I will give some suggestions, if you will find it's interesting, I will be happy. But number 1 and number 4 doesn't go. You're so different, and this can be the actually a little bit problems, not problems, like some squeaking, but we can adjust it. So let's talk about it later. That's enough. And is it familiar to you?
This quote from my book,
Yes.
from the book
yes.
that I've been reading every day.
So I was, Patrick, wonderful. Let me tell you, I was waiting that somebody would comment on it. And I can tell
Me
you,
too.
I was telling you, I was reading it every single day when you posted. I absolutely love it. And this is the exactly example. I will tell you just my, I cannot say this is, I'm telling the truth, but what I feel, why people didn't respond. Do you know, people are always, what I hear, they saying, oh, I know that, oh, I've heard it already, oh, nothing new about it. But however, whatever we are getting wiser, the new level of wiseness open to us. And I can tell you this, guys, to understand wisdom, a person needs to be wise. So if something doesn't open us, keep going, and you will be surprised how much more wisdom it would be open to you. For example, take that be in present, live in present. I read it maybe 1 million times. And the more I progress, and hopefully and happily I'm progressing. Because do you know, how can I figure out, do I progress or not? Because all the time when I read that live in present, open to me more and more. It's just the sign that I'm progressing. Isn't it exciting? And let's read a little bit about it. So Patrick, can you read the first quote?
Yeah, definitely. The more closely a person follows his intellect and controls his passion, the closer he comes to his spiritual life, to love of God and of his neighbor.
Thank you. Oh, because nobody commented, I will comment. It's my time, but please, anytime you want to say something, just raise your hand and I will stop immediately. And the question, why do you think it was written, a person follows his intellect? Why intellect? What we have else? We have intelligence, right? What else do we have? We have wisdom. We have brain, we have mind, we have thoughts. So what I want to tell that there is not a coincidence. Why the wise idioms or wise quotes are considered to be wise, if they are wise, and they are staying for centuries? Because this is exact words which they are using. It's not that somebody was sitting and whatever, put any word. No, this is wisdom. This is really calendar of wisdom. So what is your opinion? Why this is using intellect and not something else?
Well, you know, I mean, the way I look at it is basically just following the line of Socrates, right? You know, we are an animal, but also with reasoning power, right? Therefore, the intellect. So the idea that if we basically follow our intellect, our reasoning, right, we get to a point where there is something bigger than us, right? The flip side of that is, you know, if we basically follow just our passion and not control it, right? And not control our passion whatsoever, right? Then basically we're not using our reasoning. We are basically following our animal nature, or, you know, or inherent animal nature, versus the epitome of, you know, I call it basically higher human nature, right? So that to me, which makes sense to having not only respecting intellect, but also having the humility to understand that we don't know everything. However, the reason why it exists is because it works. So therefore, it makes sense to follow it.
Beautiful, Patrick. I agree. So let's, Richard, please.
I agree as well, but I'll put in my thought that you may or may not agree with. The words intellect and passion, for me, might be synonymical. Is that a word?
Yes,
With
we understand.
logic and emotion. And that's what it seemed like to me.
Okay, we will, this is said that follows intellect and controls his passions. So they didn't say like the same. So you mean that it's needed to add something?
In my mind, when I look at the word intellect, and it's not as obvious to me what that means. So I try to put it in terms of something that I understand.
Okay.
And so I see the words logic and emotion, and those words make a lot more sense to me. So
okay, then let's clarify. You are exactly at the point. So what is what's the difference between intelligence and the intellect? I can tell you guys, for you it would be difficult. Do you know why not? Because I'm smart and you are not. No, because what I notice when I translate the Russian words, we have very distinguished difference, very distinguished. But when I translate, it's going intelligence right away. So it's not absolutely your fault. So because I found that it's necessary to distinguish it. So intelligence is the ability to interpret the information and find the cause of any problem. It's beautiful, right? However, what's the difference between intelligence and intellect? And intellect is the knowledge of a problem. Guys, this is the root of it. So intelligence is the ability to interpret the information. Intellect is the knowledge of a problem and the experience to find solution to solve problems. So intellect is higher than intelligence, because intelligence, it can't be your intelligent person. You can be intelligent in studying something. He can be or she can be intelligent in some profession. So it's great. It's the ability to interpret information, but intellect is the knowledge of a problem. And what is the wisdom?
It will be intellect, right? Wisdom will be tied to intellect.
Yes, yes. So you are absolutely right. It's even higher. Wisdom is the possession of knowledge and intelligence, but in addition, intellect for the implementation of the simplest solutions. Did you hear, guys? Simplest solutions. This is wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to determine the truth. Who wouldn't want to be a wise man? Nobody. Everyone wants to be. I mean, nobody don't want. Everybody wants to be wise, right? Everybody wants to understand the truth and determine the truth. So, but we have two more. Remember, I said that we have brain and we have mind. Let's just figure out quickly what's the difference between them, right? So brain is the organ, right? That controls all function of the body, interpret information from the outside world. So this is our organ. Mind uses the brain. The mind is energy and generates energy through thinking, feeling, and choosing. And the most interesting what I found, I would agree with all of that, but if I'm doing research, I'm doing very thorough research. And I found something, and it's at first a little bit confused me. This is addition to the brain. The brain controls our thoughts. Oh la la, what does it mean? Mind or we are control? Who is control our thoughts? Brain, just the organ, or our mind controls our thoughts? Richard?
Again, to put it in other terms that I recognize pretty quickly, the brain is like a computer and it controls all of the peripheral devices, and the mind is the software that goes in it.
Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting. Like, who controls our thoughts, mind or brain? In a simple terms, if what you said, it was beautifully said, but a little bit more simple words for simple people like me, for example.
Well, as far as memory and speech, these are all still functions of storage and operating peripheral devices, let's say. Thoughts is a separate subject. I mean, I would think that the thoughts are a combination of the mind and the brain together.
Okay. Any other opinion?
Oh, I think, the mind is so, thoughts, impressions, right? External, internal impressions that comes along. I think the brain, in essence, house these things, right? But the mind, right, gives it meaning. I guess that's that. It gives it energy, right? The mind gives those things that comes to us, manifestations of things like impressions and things like that.
Okay, guys. What I can just add? This question that I cannot claim that my opinion is the right one. So all opinion is valid, and I can just say my opinion. This is not a fact, what I will tell you. I gave my thoughts and I'm sharing with you. So I accept it as just opinion. So what it came to my conclusion, or at least my opinion, that guys, this is the not like confident proof that how God created us. God created us and provided to us everything. Do we control our digestion, our breathing? Maybe somebody controls growing hair or nails. Do we do that? No, we accept it as a granted. So this God gave to us from our birth. This is why, I'm sorry, can I be straight? It's not about you and about somebody else, just an example. Wise person will live and stupid person will live, or not smart person. He will still live. It doesn't matter how he's smart. He will survive. He will survive without books. He will survive without any knowledge, because brain controls his thoughts automatically. And then I like that Richard is always talking about free will. And this is where the free will come. So if we want to live better, then we need to grow. Then we need not just use our basic. This is our basic. like I said, digestion, growing hair, which we don't control. A person who is in this, you think probably what level is that? Probably dependent level, right? Probably the first level. Do you think he or she will live a happy life if his brain control his everything, action, memory, speech, movement, everything, like digestion? Do you see how it's correlate to basic features? God cannot live as create just, okay, I will create for you digestion and the breath, then you do by yourself. No, we wouldn't be able to live in this world. So God provided us with everything. And see again, even these guys, how do you remember I told you that everything, everywhere you will see Mr. Covey book. This is brain and mind. What level is that? The first level, dependent level, right? Or in spiritual world, it's ignorant level. Intelligent level, it's independent level. Or in spiritual world, it's passion level. And intellect and wisdom, it's interdependent level. Or in spiritual world, it's passion level. Isn't it beautiful? Let's come back to your calendar again. So controls his passions. And we already talk about it. Richard said, and Patrick said, yes, guys, from one side, I can ask, for example, I can ask our new people, what's wrong with passion? It's actually very applauded in our society. Oh, she's speaking with passion. He's doing his job with passion. They are doing something with passion. What's wrong with it? Why this calendar of wisdom saying controls passions? Valentina, Pedro, if you want, would you like to say your opinion?
Not personally. I mean, they're just trying to gain an understanding what the group is about. So I just
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Any opinion? Okay, I'll go because you guys said already. Yes, because do you know what is passion? If complete we are with passion, we don't see anything around. If we, for example, have passion for drawing, yes, we will get, and God will give us the talent and what we want. But we need to accept that everything around can be ruined. We can don't have a family, we don't have anything what we want or what the other people have. And the passion not only good. Right now I'm offering a good passion, but there is many other passions which make people tunnel vision and they make them actually crazy. So we need to control our passions. And all of it will bring us closer to spiritual life. Why do we need to be closer to spiritual life? We know that spiritual life is right now not very valued in our society, right? They think spiritual people are not rich people. So why do we need to go to spiritual life? Why do I need to love my neighbor?
Well, I think, the idea of, because this is the 7 habits, right? That basically being an effective person. Going back to what Jan's presentation, right? You have to be aware that you need to be principle center, right? It doesn't matter whether your material goals are, you want to be the wealthiest, the most famous, and most powerful, right? To get to that, that itself, right, is not good enough to be a good human being, right? Or to be an effective human being, I should say, right? You need to have something higher than that, right? And a perpetual virtue, right? And that's the idea that having the spirituality, that's virtue, that means a set of virtue, that you could basically get these things that are material goods, right? And still be a decent person, right? And still be, basically, you're not sacrificing what your God-given goals are, right? Which is to be a good person, right? You're not sacrificing that for wealth, for fame, for power. That's not to say those things are not important, right? In the earthly world, it is very important, right? You look at history, right? Marcus Aurelius is the guy that I always read meditation. He's the one of the good emperors in the Roman times, right? You read his meditation, he talks about it all the time. And even though he practiced Stoicism, with some, very, very similar to the 7 Habits. It's very much the same thing. But the key things that he talked about is like, our goal in life is, being powerful, being rich, being all famous, very important. But however, right, the goal is really to be a good person. And those demonstrating like being good to your neighbor is, it's a modeling of being a good person.
Of course, Patrick, I was just teasing. You said very nicely. So you said being effective and being beyond. And I will finish what you said, because it doesn't matter you're spiritual or you're material, you want to be happy. This is our goal, and what you said, everything, it will help to do that. But let's see what the wise people are saying. So what religious, being spiritual, what is being closer to God, what is being love your neighbor, what will give it to us? Anybody, can you read? We're probably tired to listen to me.
Sure, I can read it.
Yes, please.
It says, godly wisdom helps us understand life. Then you will understand what is right, just, and fair, and you will find the right way to go. Proverbs 2:9 says, godly wisdom helps us know what to do. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will fill you with joy. Wise choices will watch over you.
And again, everything about wisdom. And we already figure out the difference between intellect, intelligence, and wisdom. We already figure out how it's wonderful to be wise. And this is again the confirmation of that. So how to be wise, guys? We all want to be wise, but how to be wise?
Make a lot of mistakes and then learn not to make them again.
That's a good point. So, but I hope you don't offer me to go on the street and do mistakes. One mistake for another mistake in order to be wise. Okay, good.
Well, it's obviously, if well, not obviously, but according to what we just read, spirituality or knowledge of God can provide the wisdom.
Okay. There is, guys, you're right, and there is many ways. Let me just quickly discuss one way, which is completely proven not only by me. So I always, I'm just a messenger. I'm using the knowledge which I received. So did you hear that always people who read books will rule those who don't read? Did you hear that? I don't remember who said it, but I knew that it's not the new thing. And let's figure out what to know one habit of ultra successful people, which they have in common. And I'll tell you, they read. And they read a lot. Do you know that when Warren Buffett was once asked about the key to success, he pointed to a stack of nearby books and said, read 500 pages every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. Do we do that? Compound interest. We don't do that. So Buffett sometimes takes that habit to extreme, and he reads between 600 and 1,000 pages per day, especially when he's beginning his investing career. And still, he devotes 80% of reading every day. So who is smarter, right? He is smart, but he's still continuing to do that. And he's not alone. Bill Gates reads about 50 books per year. It's about a breakdown to one per week. One book per week. I'm sure, don't know, 600 pages, even 500 pages per day, it's a lot. I think they use fast reading. I tried to learn it in my early years. It works, guys, but it's you need to practice, and we are very weak with practice. It's basically when you see, you don't read every word, you are glancing, but you need to train your mind to catch the main words. And then you can grasp the meaning of the page, not reading every word. So this is, but it's beautiful. So Mark Cuban, or Cuban, I don't know how to pronounce correctly, Cuban, reads more than 3 hours every day. This is his favorite book. Elon Musk is an avid reader, and when asked how he learned to build rockets, he said, I read books. Mark Zuckerberg resolved to read a book every 2 weeks since 2015. And you know, Oprah, she's reading, she's an avid reader as well. And right now she's selecting one of her favorite books every month, and they read and they discuss it. And guys, this is the most interesting. It's not only isolated examples. A study of 1,200 wealthy people, something very interesting, that they were avid readers, maybe even not right now, but in their pastime, and continue to read since. And however, successful people do not read just anything. This is important point. They are highly selective about what they read. They are opting more for educated over being entertained. They believe that books are gateway to learning and knowledge. This is interesting. Maybe somebody will read. It's very important, guys, and very interesting. Can somebody read?
Sure, I'll read it for you.
Thank you.
In fact, there is a notable difference between the reading habits of the wealthy and the not so wealthy. According to Tom Corley, author of Rich Habits, the daily success habits of wealthy individuals, rich people, annual income of 160 or more, 160,000 or more, and a liquid net worth of 3.2 million plus, read for self-improvement, education, and success. Whereas poor people, annual income of 35,000 or less, and a liquid net worth of 5,000 or less, read primarily to be entertained.
Is it interesting? Is it maybe for somebody it's surprising?
I'm actually surprised that the folks with the less net worth, I'm actually surprised they read. I thought they would be more on social media or, you know, watching TV or sports or whatever. Not that I have anything against sports. I just think, you know, entertainment is entertainment in all venues.
Yes, I completely agree with you. However, Tom Corley, he was pointing only to the books. So they are, of course, different entertainment. This most important, guys, not the other thing. This more important that the wealthy people look for self-improvement and education. This is what important. Poor people look for entertainment. And you know, somebody can say, no, I'm not buying it. I entertain myself a lot, and I'm still good. I'm rich. We can say, somebody can say that too. However, what I would answer to him, you don't know your potential. Whatever you have right now, it's great. But if you are still entertaining yourself on a daily basis, you're just literally wasting your life. You're wasting your potentials. You're draining your potentials which God gave to you. Because do not, the sky only the limit. And this, do you know, also what is interesting, it's even health benefit of reading. Who would know? It helps prevent stress, depression, and dementia. Guys, we sometimes we have depressed, we have stress, we are going to doctors and taking pills. Maybe it's better sit and read some books, right? While enhancing confidence, empathy, decision-making, and overall life satisfaction. Like that. And this, I will post on our message board. I found it's very interesting. I looked through all of these books, and some of them are the same. So Warren Buffett and Bill Gates read the same books. It's interesting. For example, I wouldn't read, of course, some investment book or something very professional. This is not interesting. But I can tell you many, many books I would definitely sit and read. I am avid reader. I read all my life, and I absolutely believe that you just need to choose what kind of books to read. And Patrick, see, we were discussing just your first statement. Isn't it interesting? It's all what you posted. So let's skip the example this, and can you read what is Thomas Carlyle?
Thomas Carlyle?
said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So he says that do not be embarrassed by your mistakes. Nothing can teach us better than our understanding of them. This is one of the best way of self-education.
Guys, I very soon, probably you will have a hole in your brain from my repeating all the time, the same and the same. But thank you, Thomas. I understood now that I am not alone. What's the big deal with our embarrassing of being mistaken? I remember on one meeting, I even asked you, please tell us what is your fear. And I remember somebody said that we are afraid that some people will laugh at us. We are afraid that somebody will think that we are stupid. Guys, who are doing something never will think this way, because everybody knows that in order to start something new, you will be clumsy, you will be unskillful. And skills coming not from your birth, skills come from trying, from practicing. So we have, and only person who lay down on sofa in front of TV and have no idea how to do anything, he can laugh. But do we need to rely on his judgment? No. So just please read this. I would put it on the wall, Patrick. So wonderful that yes, stop to be embarrassed by your mistakes. It's a process. It's normal. It's absolutely fine. And the last one, can you read?
Yes. So the last one, it seems to us that the most important work in this world is the work which is visible, which we can see: building a house, plowing the land, feeding cattle, gathering fruits, and that the work which is invisible, the work done by our soul, is not important. But our invisible work at the improvement of our soul is the most important work in the world. And all other visible kinds of work are useful only when we do this major work. I love that.
I cannot add anything. It's also what we are talking, and we finished the 3 habits, but those 3 habits not about external at all. It's only about internal. Be proactive and be brave from inside. Guys, really, if we don't understand that, we wouldn't do a big progress. Thank you, Patrick, so much. I absolutely love every word what was written, was here. So, and my question right away, and how is your personal victory going, guys? Are you proactive? Are you seeing your ultimate goal? Are you remembering to prioritize? Are you able to say no when it's necessary? My question, are you able to say no when it's necessary? Did you try? If you tried, let me ask you, what kind of answer do you expect? Can you imagine people used to hear from you yes, and then you're saying no? I hope you don't expect that people will say, oh, wonderful, I couldn't wait for your no. You made my day. I just do not, I cannot say you enough, thank you. And do know, yes, please tell me no, every time you want, I will be just very thankful to you. Richard, please.
Well, from my experience, the word no is usually followed by the word why from the other person.
I guess it depends from the relationship which we created. Because why can be normal question, and why can be suspicious, can be not trusting, controlling, if somebody all the time saying why. However, how I said, and I will continue, guys, we need to be strong. Please don't expect that if you say no, the other side will be thrilled from happiness. What can you expect? Of course, it will be defensiveness. How Richard said, why? So they will expect explanation from you. And plus, it can be not only defensive, it can be angerness. It can be flashback. It can be even a fight. It can be, depends which relationship you are. So, but what is that? It's actually, we need to understand that it's normal reaction. Take from a child a toy, and child will cry and try to take the toy from you, right? Why we expect when we grown up? Mr. Covey said that we are not growing, we are still tender and inside. So, and if we are adult, it doesn't mean that we now can behave. We just said and that we have 3 levels. What is a person on dependent level? What does it mean? It means that he is adult, but the mind is the attitude like a child, and we need to understand it. Hello, Nael, welcome. And so, and we need to stay with our principles. So, guys, be strong. And you know, very interesting thing I have to share with you. So recently we were introduced one young man. And that man was living in Japan for like 3-5 years. And do you know what interesting thing? He was there by work. He had a mentor, old wise man. All the time when I'm talking about mentor, I remember Noel. He was first who said that. Hello, Noel. So he had a mentor, and that mentor taught him life. And when you talk to that man, we know him just a little bit. Do not just from that young man has standards, the respect comes automatically. That young man didn't do much yet, but do know, because he has those standards, and we see that he has that, the respect is coming. So what I want to tell, if we will stay with our principles, and I hope our principles based on what? Not on something what is written on the walls on the street, right? On the fence. Our principles are based on God. And if we will stay with our principles, first, we will respect ourselves, but that person will respect us as well. That's 100%. This is not 99. But if we will expect something nice from the person who will say no, and it didn't happen, and we scared or we are hesitating, and we are going along with that person, you're done. You don't deserve respect. They will love you, they will use you, but there wouldn't be respect, and we will suffer. And again, what is that suffering? How the suffering is different from pain, for example. We using, this is the problem, do not, sorry, Patrick, this is the problem, we using words automatically, but we don't think what is that and what they mean. Yes, go ahead, Patrick.
So to me, there is a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is usually physical and temporary, right? Mm-hmm. Suffering, right, is actually long lasting and is usually intentional or act out of ignorance, right? Or, so to me, those are the two definitions. So, and, in the 7th habit, Covey talks about cause and effect, right? It's like you pick up the stick or something, you pick up one end, the other end comes up. As the notion of cause and effect, it goes back to habit 1, right? We are the creator, right? So we create whatever the outcome, it's on us. So if our intention is to create suffering, then we're not aligned to principle, right? So so that's how I see it.
Yes, I agree with you. Basically, suffering, it's what we create. Pain can be physical, you're absolutely right. Pain can somebody give us pain as well. However, suffering, it's our attitude to the problem. And this, let me share another wisdom. I even wrote it down, guys, post on our presentation, because, oh, this is, sorry, I forgot, I put it for you, Patrick, that you would read them, and I was listening to you that I even forgot about it, but you was reading from your calendar of wisdom, so beautiful again, post. So this is what is suffering, and let's read. Please read somebody and read the, let me read. I will read and we will discuss. Under suffering, there is always false substitutions. Guys, can you imagine? We are saying, I'm suffering. Somebody, my friend is suffering. Somebody's suffering, and we feel sad about them. We want to comfort them, but in fact, we need to help them in a different way. We need to figure out where is their false substitution. Under suffering, we can see how many mistakes our mind makes. Done. So do we need to say, and I suffer with, do you remember we were discussing before, should we suffer with somebody else? Now, do you see, do we need to suffer? Of course not. We need to help them to figure out mistakes. And isn't the truth? The more happy person, the more wise that person. It means the less mistakes he's doing. So easy is that. This is again, we can say it's a words game. It's wordiness. No, it's not wordiness. Because every wordiness somebody get. The other wordiness, the other get. And the more wise people, the more happier life we have. The spirit is always on the top. Knowledge is one of the methods to eliminate sufferings. And we were talking about it already, even through books, you can eliminate sufferings. Knowledge is the method to eliminate suffering. Do we educate ourselves when we suffer? No. We feel pity about somebody, or we are complaining if we are suffering, or we are like hero, we are going through it. And we don't do nothing to educate ourselves. So what's the reason? Not the reason, what's the outcome? You will continue to suffer. Being ignorant or dependent, it's like living in darkness. And this is, you can recognize from religious, from Bible, you've heard it, but here is a little bit more easy words to understand. And now we understand the spirit is always on the top. Ignorant and dependence is darkness. Knowledge or spirit is like a light in darkness. You simply, and again, you simply just see where to go. Don't know, how can it be easy to say light, spirit, and you just see where you are going? To me was this very impressive, and because I put it that you could read. So this is a little bit continue. It was on one of my lecture, philosophy of life. So because I'm sharing with you, I'm again saying I'm sharing. So he continued that demons scattered when illuminated by light. They live only at the expense of ignorance, at the expense of darkness. And when we say about them, so what they mean, say about them, when we say about our problem, because demons are fitting by our problem, by fitting of our ignorance. If we discover them, if we discover our problem, this means we discover our problem. We don't deny, because what we are doing, we are denying our problem. I am smart. I'm good. I couldn't make a problem. It's not me. It's somebody else, or it's just circumstances, or it's somebody else doing somebody else to that person, and that person is hurting me. So see how it's like complicated. Our mind is creating all different combinations just to do. No, it's not me. No, it's no, it's not me. But when we discover and take responsibility, actually, those demons are afraid of it. A spirit doesn't afraid the light. So what is it? Do not be afraid. Stop be afraid to tell yourself the truth. Remember, last time we were talking, the first step is being honest. Why I'm repeating about the honest with yourself. Without that, we just won't be able to go ahead. Please understand that. And why I'm repeating, I still see it. This is my reason, I still see it. And I can tell you what all of here, you are effective, you are responsible, you actually are quite good achiever. However, guys, achievements in material world doesn't mean automatically success in your other areas of your life. Absolutely doesn't mean. Of course you can, I don't deny, but we can think, okay, I reach success in material world, now I'm awesome and everything. Doesn't work. There is no difference between mastery in the material world or spiritual world. What does it mean? How much effort, Richard, can I ask you, how much effort, how much years did you put to reach your success in material world?
Well, you can almost say my whole life, but the situations have changed over many years, and I've been in business, this particular business, for about 20 years now.
Thank you. And I'm sure he was working 24/7, especially at the beginning. And now let's just be honest with ourselves and say how many effort we put in our spirituality. How many effort we put in our growing. We are thinking it will go alone. let me just earn on material world, and I don't deny it. We have to. We cannot live without it, but we cannot put aside, or with our spiritual life, our growth. We cannot put aside. We have to find the time to go it alone, or go only to spiritual world, but we won't be able anything to eat. So this is also, it's like the last example, and we will move ahead. It's like, for example, we know how to ride a car, right? We learned it. We learned rules. We was with instructor, right? We know how, where is the gas, where is the brake. And in life, we are sitting in a car of life without instructor, without rules. We even don't know how to rule, but we sit down in a car of life and we are driving. And this is how our life is going. We are bumping every bump. We don't know where the gas, we don't know where is the brake, we don't know the rules. And it's not the, oh, guys, the other people are the same. Wonderful life. So we need, and not only we are and who next to you, also we don't need, of course, to make them notation, but influence them as well. It's a very, very serious topic, which I enjoy to talk, and I really believe that it's very important. And this is the last thing. You will see again right now our Mr. Covey. It correlates to everything. True happiness cannot be found in things that change and pass away. I don't need to comment. It's beautiful to have new things, but they are temporary. We cannot find happiness there. How long we are happy at the new thing? Hours, days, that's it. Pleasure and pain alternate inexorably. With this, we need to understand what we are doing. If we pleasure, we are enjoying. If it's pain, we are running away from it. It's impossible. Don't run away from pain. Meet it and they talk to your pain and ask what's going on. Because what is that right now? We know what is that when it's pain. Mistake. And when we made a mistake, when you did mistake in school, what did you do? Did you run away? Did you complain to all your friends? Would it help? No. You need just come and work and fix your mistakes. So pain is just a mistake. Accept that pain is just a mistake. That's it. And remember, I offered last time, guys, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're pure, you are God, part of God. And that what we did a mistake, it's just what our body is making, not our body is making, but it's not who we are. Just it's our action. Separate your action and yourself, and you will say that not I am bad, not I am not good. No, I'm good, but I did a mistake. And that's it, and just fix your mistake. Happiness comes from the self and can be found in the self only. It's what we are learning. We cannot find the happiness in somebody else. Find your real self, and the all else will come with it. What a beautiful thing. Else will come, every else, all else will come with it. 5:27. Let me just 5 minutes to briefly begin with habit number 4. Or you would like to start it next session, because it's 5:27.
I would go for next session.
Okay. Okay, guys, it's 5:28. Let's Patrick, it's your fault. You post so interesting So interesting post, I couldn't stop. Jan, thank you so much. I couldn't miss as well your presentation. And we don't need to be in hurry. I always tight with time. I always try to do as much as possible. But what you, Patrick, post, what you, Jan, was telling today, it was a tremendous learning, and we are here for learning. And we need to pat ourselves on our head. We mastered 3 beautiful habits. And please, guys, don't stop to practice. Don't think that if we pass them, it's done. No, in order to implement us that in our brains, we need to do every single day, but we will benefit tremendously. We will benefit from it just tremendously. Okay, guys, thank you so much. If anybody wants to say something, please, this is the time.
Well, I mean, I thought like the whole conversation really ties into what we talked about in terms of the habits, right? It's really, it's continual practice, right? The idea of, you know, it's a virtuous cycle where you think, you know, yeah, we have the knowledge, right? But you know, a lot of time we just because we have the knowledge doesn't mean that we have the wisdom. And that, you know, that gap, right, is sometime when we think, you know, when we think we know, and that's when we start to fail, and that's when we start making the mistake, and that's where the pain comes in. And you know, and I you know, having a 13-year-old, I see that with him all the time. I'm like, hey, I remember what I did that when I was your age, right? So I think, you know, even, and I said this before, right? Repetition is important, especially when we are trying to manifest wisdom within us, right? And everybody goes in a different rate. You know, all of us are different, right? So I think it's important that it's like, to me anyway, at least, you know, every week these things, when we talk about these things, it's important to me to kind of remind myself, right? Or at least drink in what you have talked about, everybody, to kind of like reinterpret it and how it could be useful for me to be better. So.
Thank you, Patrick. I absolutely agree. There is nothing in our conversation was out of the way. Everything was very, very, very tightly to connect it to our 3 habits. We just make them deeper. We look at them from different points of views, from enlightened people, from Bible, from wisdom, from sages, and we've seen that everyone is saying absolutely the same. So thank you, Mr. Covey. You really wrote a wisdom book. Can I ask Valentina if what did you get from this gathering? Do you think is it match your interest?
Yes, it's much in my interest, but I think I should read first the chapter, no, before I participate in the study.
It's okay, Dono. We will start to study habit number 4, and you are welcome. Of course, it's nice to know the other habits. However, Mr. Covey is so wise that starting at any habit, you will benefit. So
Yes.
do not worry, and welcome to our gatherings. It's not required to have a book. You can join our message board, and everything, presentations and questions, everything will be there.
But
So
what is the message board? I'm sorry.
send
Like
me, you
Yeah.
can send me a message on Meetup, and I will send you my phone number.
Okay, but what about the WhatsApp group? You'll add me to the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I will.
Okay, and the presentation will be there. Okay,
Yes.
okay, sounds good then. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I tremendously enjoy our conversation with you. Thank you again, Jan. Thank you again, Patrick. Thank you, Richard. for all the time you're very thoughtful adding. And thank you, and see all of you next week. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.